Yo, what is up everybody, Jay the Great here, and welcome back to another combat sports reaction video here today. And as you can tell with today's title, we have Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol, a closer look, brought to you by Motive Media Boxing. Shout out to them, they're one of the very best at what they do when it comes to boxing and promos. So folks, it has been quite some time since I have done a combat sports related video. However, I will always be a combat sports fanatic at heart, so I thought, why not get back to it? I love to talk about it, I like to analyze it, and of course, I love to witness combat sports history. So, Canelo Alvarez, already in rare air, and by many considered to be already the greatest Mexican boxer that has ever lived. The only one that still has an argument is, of course, Julio Cesar Chavez himself, who is another living legend, one of the greatest to ever do it, one of the most tenacious. Canelo has evolved as a boxer over the years. His defense only continues to become more and more advanced and immaculate, to be quite honest with you. His performances, brilliant. And when he is against the fence, like he was against Billy Joe Saunders, he has the power to put you away. One-punch power to change the trajectory of a fight. When he was fighting Billy was winning rounds. But he shifted the trajectory of the fight in its entirety when he uppercutted Billy and broke his orbital bone, ending the fight and ending the possibility of Canelo being dethroned. So he's still the pound-for-pound king, so we'll see if that continues, and I'm very excited for this promo. But before we begin, I know it's really appreciate it. Hit that like button, turn on bell notifications to stay updated with yours truly. And if you're new and you enjoy, man, you mess with the kid, make sure to hit that sub button, because once you do, become part of the family forever. But let's not put any more time screen. Let's see what this promo entails.
Willing to take on all challenges. You love the challenger boxing.
I like challenge. That's make me feel alive.
Fight fans, welcome back.
Two of the greatest right there, folks.
Cinco de Mayo weekend, 2022. Las Vegas simmering in Latino heat. A sporting superstar returns to the spotlight to face his latest challenge. Across the ring stands an elite-level champion with a uniquely effective style that looks simple on the eye, but has so far been impossible to decipher.
Pound for pound, the best and biggest.
I was born ready.
Once again pushing beyond the confines of his comfort
I'd like
zone.
to add that Dmitry is more of a
Test
volume
himself
fighter.
against
If you look at his compu stats from his recent
the
fights, he's a
strongest of
volume
competition,
fighter. That's his
facing
style,
a
pressure
silky
fighter.
St. Petersburg stylist ready to grasp his biggest opportunity. In this latest episode of our Closer Look series, we present Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Dmitry Bivol. Welcome to a Motive Media presentation.
I'm coming, man. I'm coming, my friend.
As Canelo deliberated over his next move, a myriad of champions and challengers held their collective breath in anticipation of receiving the call. The likes of Artur Beterbiev, David Benavidez, and Jermall Charlo eagerly watched on.
Charlo's also a great fighter. So each fight brings different challenges.
I wish I could give y'all the Canelo fight for Christmas, but I can't.
Obviously, the biggest target on everybody's radar is Canelo.
You don't want to get hit by a guy like Beterbiev.
I'd love to see Canelo Beterbiev.
It's good, I think so, no?
Yes.
One of the more active champions on the block, Canelo had spent a 12-month period cleaning up the super middleweight division.
So whose idea was it for you to go to 168, super middleweight?
Mi entrenador, Eddie Reynoso. Él quiere que gane otro título en otra división.
A campaign that ended up in a red-hot grudge match with
The undefeated IBF super middleweight champion of the world.
When I sat down on this, I promised myself that I was gonna run this all the way to the top,
Caleb Plant.
where I had no problem crashing and burning and dying on the way.
Never stop your hustle, don't you cry about it. Pressure make a diamond, pressure only keep you shining. Make sure you don't forget.
There's a lot of tension in that fight, clearly. Caleb versus Canelo. An exciting time.
Super hype. Hey.
Canelo Alvarez was talking about unifying. He has to go through you to do that.
To become the first undisputed super middleweight of all time. There's never been a super middleweight to do that, so I want to be the first.
He's a skilled fighter. He's a skilled fighter.
Earlier in the broadcast, he does look at that hook. The hook and Feigen he's hurt. Is driven back immediately.
He's have a good jab.
So Caleb Plant's got a great jab. He's got a great double hook.
Keep control of the fight. Mike Tyson, he's talking about.
You think Caleb Plant has a chance with Canelo?
Canelo's
I saw this guy fighting. He's gonna get slaughtered.
Damn.
Yeah, he was saying stuff like, he's too strong for me, and he was stronger than Buster Douglas. That didn't help him.
Landing these. Oh, nice uppercut by Buster Douglas. He's knocked Mike Tyson down.
To be fair, that doesn't correlate.
He was
though,
determined to
because
win.
Canelo didn't
When they
stop
did
training
that
like
press
Mike
conference.
did, right? But yeah, I see what you're saying.
And
This moment.
Canelo shoved him. When Canelo slipped that punch,
Oh,
he might have won the fight right there.
He landed first. I don't know how, but I respond quickly.
How do you get reflexes like that? That I training. Henry told me the move you did up there was his flexible.
Hey, remember, it's easy to sit in those seats. It ain't easy to stand up here. Remember that.
If Plant is able to counterpunch him and continue to move,
Is that how he wins? In your opinion?
that's how he wins.
The shots to the body, and the plan is not the same. Oh, he just got hurt.
if you try to counter Canelo, but that's
Guadalajara
harder
native
said than
chopped
done.
his Tennessee rival down.
Canelo's one of the
in
very
11
best counter
rounds
punchers
to become
in the sport of boxing
undisputed
today.
king.
It really is.
Canelo handled his business. He settled the beef.
Prior to the Plant's success, Canelo took possession of Billy Joe Saunders' WBO title.
Super duper hype is hey. Make sure you don't forget it. Don't forget to mention. That was nice. Make sure you don't forget it. Once you start to feel it. Super hype. Hey.
I don't give a about Canelo Alvarez. Not two.
Billy Joe, man, let's go, champ. If Billy Joe got hands, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
I'm two-weight, two-time world champion. It's not really a bad career, is it?
He needs to double jab his way in.
Oh, great right hand! Great right hand! And Lee fighting on instinct, big right uppercut. And the new WBO.
30 fights, 30 wins, won every single title on the way, beat everybody prospects.
And now the WBO.
I don't want to go right if I've done it wrong.
We're ready to go now. We're ready to go now.
It's not going to be a fight where, you know,
Billy was a firework, huh?
get beat up in any way.
Definitely a firework.
You love the beat, yeah. You love the beat, yeah. This art. Well, this art. You've not seen nobody with this art. You've not seen. Thank you. This will be the biggest upset in boxing history.
You had Tyson in his corner. Fury, I should say. Come on, Fury. You should have known better.
I'm coming, my friend.
Judgment Day has arrived.
Let's see if he can do it, Saunders. Oh, nice left hook from Saunders. A straight right
Very
hand
good
from
setup.
Canelo to the body as well. There's the uppercut.
Measuring
what
the
did it.
Englishman's moves, Canelo cracked the unbeaten southpaw's spirit and body in equal measure to prevail.
When you face Canelo Alvarez, the game plan changes almost in an instant.
Boom. Cracked
He
it.
will feel something different. Believe me.
And it is over. They have stopped the fight.
That literally
Now
broke his
he
spirit. I
returns
heard
to
Billy
a
did
light
not do. Was
heavyweight
not doing well
division,
mentally after
where
that.
he previously scored an emphatic knockout victory over Sergey Kovalev in 2019.
But you're gonna need more than one shot to keep this guy off you, because he comes with bombs, and he's intelligent.
I don't care. I like challenge.
They keep lining up opponents for you, and you keep knocking them out.
Kovalev in his prime was the annihilator. He truly was.
From pillar to post.
He's
Bernard
dangerous.
is getting hit flush with hard shots.
All he's ever asked me to do is take him from one test to the next.
Hard right hand.
Well, right now, I think it's going to be over.
Take me from one challenge to the next. Help me climb the ladder.
Oh! And goes forward on a perfect right hand shot.
Canelo hopes to become the 4th Mexican to win a world title in 4 divisions.
For me, making history is the most important in my career.
With only others being Eric Morales.
Eric Morales stepped in and seized this opportunity. And the blinding speed of Pacquiao's apparent, and Morales chases him across the ring.
Juan Manuel Marquez.
Legends, legends. He had some wars with Pacquiao back in the day.
Go to the body. Look at him go to the body to try to set up the finish, and what a right hand, and that will be that.
And Jorge Arce.
Hands him on the ropes. Combinations. Arce.
This is a very big test for me in my boxing career.
Does anybody remember me and Sergey fought, right?
Yep.
Down goes Hopkins.
So I have a little bias. Revenge is so sweet.
Big shot. Way too sharp. Looking to counter. There you go. See, those are the counters that Kovalev must fear.
And he's no longer the crusher.
I think Ward was correct in his assessment.
That shot right there on the chin hurt though.
He's no longer the crusher. Sergey Kovalev. There's a difference.
Kovalev's not even committing to the. There it is. Kovalev's hurt. Kovalev's down. It's over.
Unifying titles at super middleweight is already an outstanding achievement, but repeating that feat 7 pounds north would be his most scintillating statement yet. The Cinnamon Slickster's light heavyweight quest continues against a powerful pugilist at the peak of his powers.
Bivol is fast and how these raking shots.
I'm fighting one of the best in the world, or the best in the world right now, and I want people to be able to see me and to be able to see my skills.
In 2018, Dmitry Bivol burst onto the wider boxing consciousness with a dominant display of attack, defense, and ruthless finishing as he disposed of Sullivan Barrera in the 12th and final round.
He bounces back with his feet first, then he comes back and attacks with counter punches.
He lands both shots. He lands the left jab, he lands the straight right hand. Jimmy's out punching him, out boxing him, out doing everything in every single round.
We have to get our amateur. Oh, down goes Barrera, and you can see Bivol.
Bivol is a hungry lion, strong fighter, and I think he's in his prime.
Preferring patience and poise over power, the WBA champion has made multiple defenses of his belt. Distance victories over the likes of Isaac Chilemba, Jean Pascal, and current WBO ruler Joe Smith Jr. are solid markers rather than statements of intent.
I've been a big fan of Joe Smith for a long, long time, watching him in his fights.
I want a clean fight, okay?
His ring IQ is impressive, but his punch power is second to none.
Smith. Oh! Down it goes!
Wow. You said he had power, BJ. He's showing it.
The beast from the east.
This is what every fighter dreams of. Their shot at a world title.
I don't want to talk too much because I don't know as many jokes as...
Bivol fairly effective with that jab. You could tell he's a little discouraged with Bivol's power and the timing and the pop behind it. Unless something significant changes.
Still undefeated and still.
What do you think of him? What do you think of this fight against Jean Pascal?
You're not home. This is my territory.
Fight like a real man. So I'm gonna knock your ass out, I promise you. So.
Impressive power.
I saw his fight when I was amateur. I saw his fight against Bernard Hopkins.
Because I'm gonna press you. I'm gonna press you like Marvin Hagler did with Tommy Hearns.
You have no respect.
You gotta earn respect.
Come on, man. I'm your elder.
and knew that you lost that fight. That's how gangster I am.
And I thought, oh, this is a good guy. And now I will fight against Pascal on HBO.
A one-round blast of Trent Broadhurst proves that he has a seek and destroy mode when required. However, recent performances against Craig Richards and Umar Salamov have shown that Bivol will need to raise his game by several levels if he is to dethrone one of the sport's leading lights.
Right. Good chance better. Now that was good for Richards, but Bivol is straight back on him and pushes him back up to the rope.
Despite having only 19 fights on his resume, Bivol was a decorated amateur at youth level with almost 300 bouts to his name.
I read an article somewhere that said that you were the reason that I retired.
It provokes a reaction from Bivol.
This is the young guy that made Andre Ward retire. I was like, oh my goodness.
I thought that.
Yeah.
The 31-year-old has sampled a multitude of styles and strategies across his time in the sport. He must call on every ounce of this experience to prevail in the T-Mobile arena. Some view Bivol as being small for 175, but he is comfortably established at the weight class and has sparred hundreds of rounds with David Benavidez.
That's right, he has.
I'm not desperate for no money. I'm desperate to show the world I am the best.
David Benavidez is trying to make a statement and finish off.
Bivol, when I sparred him,
shine.
he was really just throwing the 1-2.
You have to go for it. You have to leave it in the ring, and the target area.
I think with Canelo, he's gonna time that. But he can't get too careless and let that 1-2 get through.
Power shots from Bivol.
It's a strong 1-2.
The California resident neutralized Joe Smith's long jab and soaked up his power punches.
Whoa,
Pro body slam? No, I'm not.
Like a takedown?
But Canelo's footwork and judgment of range is far better than Smith's. Despite giving up both height and reach advantages to Bivol, the Mexican's movement and mobility will always find him a route inside.
Canelo continues to put on the pressure, walking down Plant.
Bivol has fitted 148 rounds into an 8-year pro career and will be hoping that his 58% KO ratio is enough to deter an opponent who has climbed 36 pounds since his own 2005 debut. With 436 rounds in the bank across 60 contests, the phenomenal Canelo recently entertained the prospect of an audacious move up to cruiserweight.
Yeah, that would have been very
in an era of fickle fighters. Ever since he was an early teen, Canelo's loyalty to the Reynoso training team has not wavered.
Haz esto, yo lo hago. This is the best trainer that I can have. I just prepare, and he tells me, do this.
A jab like that could be the difference. Chopping right hand by Canelo.
And I do it.
Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Made it out the neighborhood, made it to the pros. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. What's a triple threat? Something they don't know. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. We ain't simmer yet, we just heating up the stove. Head, shoulders, knees, toes. Made it from the ground floor, still kicking doors.
You know, we started from nothing, started from the bottom, working really hard.
44-0-1 with 33 knockouts. That's pretty good for a 19-year-old.
You know, I've been training him since he was a child. He's very loyal. We have grown together.
Steph Curry. Shout out to Steph.
Warning.
My shot do not miss. Since a kid been flossing like this. Yes, my team is bossing like this. You can see how
Canelo was already a prodigy young, early on, and he just continues to evolve.
Everything you've done is not new.
Honestly,
something about your game is not true. If I were you, I'd follow me too.
So when can we get something going on?
Get the out of here, man. Please.
Please, your own city said you're a letdown. Please, I'm on the ladder, cutting the net down. Sneeze and bless you. My game's sick now. These are my moves. You in the mix now. Cross. He on skates. He about to get down. Freeze. Do not move. You in the wrong town.
Oh man.
Bivol's head coach, Gennady Mashianov, will be tasked with devising a game plan capable of toppling the fight favorite. Bivol's simplistic output has been his strength, as the orthodox champion repeatedly unleashes his trademark 1-2 combination.
He was really just doing the 1-2.
Punctuated by a powerful overhand right.
Over the top.
He doesn't wait, he doesn't walk into you. He throws it quick and it's over with. Like that. He said, boom, 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 and it's over with.
As the Russian puts so much leverage into that honey punch, Canelo would be best served slipping it all together, rather than blocking on arms and gloves.
Let's go, give me more.
Canelo faces a fighter who has the fundamentals down to a T, but rarely deviates from his script. A lack of variation could be a dangerous game for Bivol, who often favors the head and drops his left guard. A swift Canelo feint could open up a route for the Mexican's own powerful right hand. The champion's sharp shots are fast and accurate, but as the rounds fly by, Canelo will be ready to time and counter them with his own withering assaults to the head and body. Bivol is likely to enjoy success in the early going, moving laterally in and out of range. But as his bouts progress, Canelo downloads enough data to start gathing momentum. That is when the boxing chess match ends.
You want to see something special?
And the fight truly starts.
He's gone older. He's only become better and better at that.
While potential future rivals sit on the sidelines hoping their time will arrive, it is Dmitry Bivol who has drawn the ticket in boxing's biggest cash prize.
Payday. You want payday. I know that.
Can the Russian adapt his tactics, raise the tempo, and move to a gear we have never seen before? Across 19 pro contests, Bivol has always had his hand raised in victory. But will narrowly contested margins favor his plight when pitted against a pound-for-pound king? Canelo has not tasted defeat since Floyd outwitted him in 2013.
And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth about Canelo. I was almost 40 years old when I cooked this dude. Easy.
Once again, Eddie Hearn's most valuable product has backed himself to step up and deliver.
Hey, my friend, with all my respect, I told you.
They have stopped the fight!
Easy money.
On May 7th, one man's resistance must break. An already established belt holder, the eyes of the world will glare at Dmitry Bivol as he prepares to elevate his profile above and beyond. For Canelo Alvarez, handling intense pressure is all part and parcel of his profession. Seeking fame and recognition in another weight division, the Mexican maestro must master another unbeaten foe in the same manner as always: diffuse, dissect, and destroy.
The coronation is complete!
It's gonna be an interesting fight, man. There you guys have it. That is the promo. Very well done by Motivated Boxing, as always. Definitely want to get my 2 cents on this one. So, empirically, it is only rational to deduce that Canelo will most likely win in this boxing match, right? Canelo has more experience. He seems to have more in his arsenal. He seems to have more variation compared to Dmitry. Dmitry seems like a volume fighter with a script, right? And that script has worked for him up until this point. However, it is not going to work, most likely, against Canelo. Canelo adapts. Canelo's timing is impeccable. It is very good. So if you stick to his script, he will catch on, clearly. And as the rounds go on, he will download that data. And it will hurt you. He will hurt you. He has the power to hurt you. Right? The difference between him and Floyd, at least an older Floyd, is that Floyd could download the data like no other. However, he didn't have the power to take you out. Right? He had the skill to unquestionably outbox you, though. He did have that. Canelo can adapt, and once he adapts, he'll hurt you. It could be to the body, or it could be to the head. He has the power and the IQ, which is very dangerous. That's very dangerous. Dmitry is going to have more variation. I'm sure his coaches are telling him religiously, you have to have more variation in your combinations. You can't stick to that 1-2. It's not going to work against Canelo. He will eat you up if you do that. Canelo is the type of fighter that, one, you have to keep pressured, and two, you have to keep guessing. Because if you keep up the script for too long, He will time you and hurt you. It's very, very difficult to defeat someone like Canelo, or like Floyd, or these people with high IQs, Andre Ward, right? It's very difficult to do that. Tyson Fury. They have high IQs. You have to keep it up. Have the pace and have the game plan. So this fight is Canelo's to lose. He's the one in the advantageous position. In boxing, there are levels, clearly. There are one division world champions, right? Like Dmitry, a good champion, great champion. And then there are all-time greats. There are all-time greats that just have that it factor that great fighters just can't compete with. Floyd Mayweather, Ali. He just happened to live in an era where there was other all-time greats. Canelo, Mike Tyson early on, etc. When you're an all-time great, you just have an it factor that cannot be replicated by many. Very few have that level of skill and talent. Canelo just happens to be one of the greatest boxers we've ever witnessed. Unfortunately, to Dimitri's detriment, I guarantee that the casuals are already counting him out, and even the hardcores are going to count him out, right? They're going to point out some of his strength, right? He has a good right hand, a good overhand, good 1-2. Has a good pace, that's important. He has a good pace, he can keep it up for 12 rounds. Maybe he'll push Canelo. Maybe he'll push that cardio tank. But Canelo has a very good cardio tank himself. So it's going to come down to the IQ, to the game plan implemented. But it's safe to say that Canelo most likely has more power. Right? Even though Dmitry is at a higher weight class, I would argue Canelo has more power. He packs more of a punch. If you can go toe-to-toe with Triple G, punch for punch, with similar power, you probably hit harder than Dmitry does. But yeah, folks, so my prediction is clearly that Canelo is most likely going to win this. I think he wins by later round stoppage, or by decision if he has to, if Dimitri's power is more significant than I am predicting. I do predict he wins this one, but who knows? I think Dmitry has potential to make this fight interesting. He has the pace. If you check his recent fights and his statistics as far as punches thrown, punches attempted, he has a gas tank where it allows him to push the pace the whole fight. That could be an interesting aspect to his game that could give Canelo trouble if he comes with the right game plan, that is. But yeah, I think Canelo wins in the later rounds. He either wins by later round TKO or he wins by decision. That's my prediction, folks. This was a good promo. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure some of you will predict that Dmitry will take it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the beauty of boxing. It is a science. And we like to make our arguments for who has the better science, right? Who has the better sweet science. So let me know in the comments of your thoughts. If you have any other recommendations, let me know in the comments as well. And I'll catch you in the next video. It's Jittergay signing out. Peace.